podcaster JJ Redick going to hang up the podcast game. More downloads for my podcast. He's not doing it anymore. JJ Redick said yes, he accepted the rose, and he was officially welcomed to the purple and gold gang. The longtime Clipper who missed every big shot he took in the fourth quarter of games is now the Lakers' problem. He had his introductory news conference on Monday. He sat right next to Skinny Jeans Rob Pelinka, who looks beaten and broken. The years of futile Laker rosters have done that to him, and being the caddy to LeBron James. So they were sitting side by side, Rob Pelinka, the GM, and the podcaster Redick, who regaled basketball scribes with answers to a bunch of random questions. He becomes the 29th coach in franchise history. Most of those have happened within like the last 10 years. Ever since Dr. Jerry Buss died, the Lakers have gone to hell in a handbasket. No championships. It's a disaster of a franchise, and it's a turnstile gig. And they've added another notch to that. So let us discuss the question, what was the vibe? What was the vibe that JJ Redick gave off in his opening news conference with the Lakers? So I went back and watched this. I didn't watch it live. I watched the raw feed on the interweb, and I checked it out. So I've got the Big O, Ranchera, and Arcade, and we will combine all of these things together, and we are going to make macaroni and cheese is what we're going to make. So number one. JJ Redick was in all-star form. That is not a compliment. Some people will take that as a compliment. You should not take that as a compliment. That is not a compliment. This was such a debacle. It was actually better than I thought it was going to be, and I knew it was going to be a debacle. And I was hoping I was going to be wrong, and I was, because it was the kind of event where I knew this guy's a schmuck, but you're like, there's no way. Maybe the Lakers will wise up and say, psych, we're just kidding. That was some trickeration. We're not actually hiring this guy, and then they'll hire somebody else they should actually hire. Yeah, just joking around. Haha, joke's on you. But JJ Redick is the same guy he's always been. He's the Big O, not Oscar Robertson. He is obnoxious. O for obnoxious is JJ Redick. Coaching in the NBA, I realize it's a marginalized job anyway. It's not about X's and O's when you're coaching in the NBA. That's secondary. It's about likability. Much of it's about likability. You are the face of the franchise, and the Lakers' face of the franchise is a douchebag. That's JJ Redick. That's who they hired. And you also look for the coach to have the Pied Piper effect. Is that a fair thing to say? I think that is a fair thing to say, right? The Pied Piper, a charismatic person that can bond together people and have them follow the message, whatever that message is. Motivation is a big part of it. But Redick is the antithesis of that. He acts like he invented the game like Dr. James Naismith. He invented the game, invented basketball. He put a little peach basket up back in the day, and that was that. But there's so many high levels of toxicity with JJ Redick, and we know how this story is going to end. JJ will be jumping out of the Laker team plane with a golden parachute, and he'll make a lot of money, and then he can go do some bad podcasting, and he'll have a lot of money coming in. The only thing about that is you will not be able to criticize the Lakers. The standard contracts of these professional coaches and athletes have non-besmirching of the brand clauses in the contract, so that will not happen. Now, page 2. The Lakers at this shindig, at one point, Skinny Jeans, Rob Pelinka, boldly said that Anthony Davis had a lot to do. He was more involved in the hiring of JJ Redick than LeBron James. And I'm not making this up, but you probably think I'm making this up. I'm not. I'm not making this up. So Lakers' claim is that Anthony Davis, the unibrow, was more involved in the hire of JJ Redick than LeBron James. Is that believable? On any level, is that believable? Well, not the one I'm in. And if you didn't give out a hearty guffaw when you either saw that earlier or you heard me just talk about it, there's something wrong with you. Right? Rob Pelinka claimed with a straight face. He did not break character. I thought he was going to break character. I thought he was going to start laughing. He did not. He claims that LeBron distanced himself from the coaching search. Yeah. So riddle me this, Batman. Anthony Davis is fully immersed. LeBron is out on an island somewhere, living the island life. In order for us to believe that, you would have to be living, and I would have to be living, in a ranchera, the street sign saying, "Welcome to Suckersville, man. Welcome to Suckers." Like, what are we doing? Seriously. LeBron, let me let you in on a little secret. LeBron was literally and figuratively part of the sizzle reel for JJ Redick to get him the job. In my business in radio, you used to have to send tapes in. Now you can just email stuff. But if you wanted one of these jobs, you had to send a sample of your work. That's how it works. And then they listen to it and say whether they like you or not and whether they want to go further with the process or process. And if you're coaching and you have no resume, what do you think JJ Redick, his resume was? He's bad at commentating on television. Thank God he's off that. That's a silver lining to this. I'm going to go out on a limb and say he sent audio files of the podcast that he does with who? LeBron James. Come on. That was the audition tape. That was it, the podcast. It's in the podcast, stupid. And it worked. It worked. He got the gig with no business getting the gig. He got the gig because the Lakers are an embarrassment. They have no leadership, and I love every second of it. I've been waiting my entire life for this incompetence, and here it is. And I hope it never ends. I hope Jeannie Buss owns the team forever and ever and ever. She has no idea what she's doing. It's just wonderful. But Redick did say he has been excommunicated, he said, from the content space, so there will be no podcast, he said. He's done with podcasting for now. Check back in about a year and a half. And once he gets whacked, the pod will return. Now, final point. So let's take a look at the wide-angle lens here. Not the micro, the macro, wide-angle lens. What does JJ Redick's hire do for the Laker franchise? So my perspective on this, he's like an arcade game, Qbert, back in the day. They have this thing called the Q rating. And the Q rating is what you're judged on in terms of popularity, right? How highly regarded you are. They call it the Q rating, how highly regarded you are. The higher your Q score, the better that is, right? And Redick is unlikable. He's pompous. He's unreasonable. And he scores very high on what I call the S score, the schmuck score. Very high on that. The Q score, not so much. The Q score, not so much. Now, my favorite moment of this was Redick representing the brand, the Laker brand. He was asked what miscommunications about himself he's looking forward to dispelling now that he earned a job he did not, or was given a job he did not earn, coaching the Lakers. And JJ mumbled and stumbled and bumbled over the answer. And he then said part of the engagement farming industry, talking about him being part of the engagement farming industry, as he said, which is an a-hole way of saying podcasting, before saying, I really don't have a great answer for your question because I really don't give an F, is what he said. But I said the word F because I have some decorum and I'd get in trouble. Well, actually, probably wouldn't anymore. If I said the F word. But Redick said it. So I've come to one conclusion and one conclusion only. The Lakers just don't give a damn. They know the team's going to suck. So they thought, well, let's try something different. We'll hire Redick. He can't coach, but we'll put him out there, and LeBron will be happy. And, they can do some great podcasts when LeBron retires in a year and a half or whatever. And we'll draft Bronny James, and we'll be on our way. And we'll just live the heel life. We'll be like professional wrestler Doink the Clown from back in the day. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. That's just the way it's going to be. LeBron is closing in on the big 4-0, which is okay in real life, but in athletics, that's not that great. And Anthony Davis is made of glass. Good luck. Good luck. What a mess. I'll be here to document and chronicle all of it. It would be a miracle if the Lakers win 35 games with JJ Redick as the coach next season.